Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to module 6, that is creative expression for mental well-being. Now we are commencing lecture 4 of this module, and this is movement based therapies for mental health. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. I am Akanksha Avasthi, a mental health professional and registered clinical psychologist. I have been working here at IIT Kanpur for past several years. So, I'll discuss about the overview of today's presentation, the connection between movement and emotional regulation, expressive dance as a stress release factor, and incorporating movement into your daily routine so that you can get the maximum benefit. So first we'll start with movement based therapies. What exactly it is? The movement-based therapies are therapeutic approaches in which the therapist guide you to particular movements so that it can help you in your emotional release and releasing the internal conflicts. It is very popular and it is very effective in cases of where there is geriatric population or very small kids. The movement-based therapies including dance movement therapy and yoga therapy and other mindful walking therapy, these all things are helpful when you use it in adjacent with medication and other neurological aids. So let's start with this. The connection between movement and emotional well-being. So it has been proven long back that there is a connection between your body and your mind. As you all have been experienced that whenever you are sick, whenever you are injured, whenever you are not feeling well or there is some problem in your body, what happens? You are not feeling well. You don't feel like full on energy. Your attention, your concentration level also get lowered. You don't feel like interacting with people. So it means that your body and your mind both are interconnected. Similarly, when you are sad, frustrated, fatigued, what happens? You don't want to do much works, you don't want to laugh, you don't want to talk to people. So what happens? Your body and your mind both are in sync with each other. We take the advantage of this notion when we do the DMT or any movement based therapy. What we do, we incorporate those kind of movements which are helpful for our mind and our body and in particular emotional and stress release. So this is how the whole system works here. Now I'll explain you. The mind body connection is a well established notion. Whenever you are feeling sad or whenever you are feeling fearful, it manifests physically as your muscles get tight. You feel like someone is choking your neck, you feel tired, you feel fatigued, you are having headache or migraine. So these are the physical states. Also, if you are going through depression or other mental illness, then you also see that your sleep, your appetite, your body's activity level also get decreased. So what happens? There is a very strong connection between emotion and your mental well-being, right? And it is also in the sync of your body movements. What happens when you do the physical activities that required particular body movements and that also involve mindfulness? It secretes those kind of neurotransmitters in your brain which are actually accountable for happiness, joy, attention, memory and concentration, right? Effects of movement on neurochemistry. So there are particular neurotransmitters in your brain which whenever they release, they have certain kind of effect on your mind. One is dopamine. So it promotes the reward, it promotes motivation. So whenever there is high release of dopamine, you want to do that activity again and again. You feel happy. Also there is a neurotransmitter, serotonin. It also helps in sleeping. It brings calmness and relaxation. So whenever you are doing these movement-based therapies, they increase the secretion of dopamine and serotonin level in your mind. The third one is endorphins or natural painkillers. So what happens when you are doing the movement, whether it is exercise, whether it is mindfulness based walking, whether it is yoga, whether it is DMT, while you are doing it, your body is releasing endorphins. What happens? These are natural painkillers. So if you have any pain or any injury in your body, it works on it. Definitely, it's not a substitute of medical aid, but it is a quite helpful solution whenever you want to work it as an adjacent. The fourth thing is norepinephrine. It promotes alertness and focus. So, whenever you are doing physical activities, whether it is DMT, meditation, yoga, or any kind of movement based therapy, this increases the alertness level and concentration attention in yourself. The fifth one is brain derived neurotrophic factor, which we usually call BDNF. So, exercise increases BDNF levels, which promotes neuroplasticity, and also it helps in our overall brain growth. So, what happens in particular neurodegeneration or in particular illnesses like Parkinson, Alzheimer, or if there is any brain lesion or there is any brain injury or tumor? So, what happens in adjacent to the medications, this particular movement based therapy helps in the neuroplasticity. Hormonal effects. Movement based therapies are also having very good impact on our hormones. Like we all know that hormones are those chemicals which release and they have instant effects on our body. So whenever you have heard about that someone is having diabetes, it means the pancreas is not secreting enough insulin, right? The second one is cortisol. Cortisol is stress releasing hormone. So whenever we are doing any kind of movement based therapy or intervention, it reduces our cortisol level and it also helps in increasing the secretion of insulin in our body, which also help in combating blood sugar. There are other hormones as well like testosterone and growth hormone. So what happens? Resistance training and high intensity interval training, they can elevate our testosterone and human growth hormone. These hormones contribute to muscle growth, tissue repair and metabolic health. In this summary table, you can see that there are multiple brain regions which are responsible and involved in movement. It shows that if you are doing a particular movement, these particular regions get activated and they help you in soothing out, in providing you calmness and also helping you in dealing with any kind of emotional release or conflict. So prefrontal cortex, which is very important part in our brain and which helps in decision making. The second is basal ganglia, which is motor planning, habit learning and reward processing system. The limbic system, it is an emotional regulation center and it is also responsible for memories and it also responsible in the motivation. We also have cerebellum and motor cortex and they all are involved in movements as well as in emotional regulation. Now we are coming to dance movement therapy. As its name sounds, dance movement therapy. So there are three terms involved in it. One is dance, the second one is movement and the third one is therapy. Yes. So what happens? When your therapist is guiding you to particular movements which help you in aligning with your emotional conflicts, internal confusions, and by doing and expressing those movements, you also release your stress, it becomes a sort of dance movement therapy. I'll discuss you the definition, which is DMT is a psychotherapeutic approach that uses intentional movement and dance to support emotional, cognitive and physical integration. Basically, it is guided by trained therapists, so it means you can't do it on your own because you need a proper training, what instructions to give and how long it should be continued. It is often used in clinical, educational and rehabilitative settings. DMT. The origin of DMT is in 1940s. It integrates principles of psychodynamics, somatic and creative expression and then they create this different kind of therapeutic sensory modality. Basic DMT session flow. So whenever someone is taking DMT sessions, there are particular steps which therapist and client follows. I'll tell you one by one. The very first is warm up. Gentle movement to music to tune into body sensations. It also helps clients to be grounded to their body and become more aware of bodily sensations like tension, breath and heartbeat. The second one is mirroring. Therapist reflects, mirrors client movements to foster empathy. So whatever the client is doing, the therapist is mirroring the same action so that the client can see and get the introspection of how the person is doing it and what is the symbolic significance of that particular movement. So you can feel seen while you are doing it because the therapist is also imitating the same gestures which client is doing. The third step is improvisation. From starting with a very free movement, and whether you are doing these free movements in the silence or you are doing with any kind of music, what happens sometimes in improvisation the therapists use certain kind of prompts. You dance like a water, express how you are feeling today. So these are the prompts therapists use while they are telling you about the improvisation. They try to improve and make you more tuned to your emotional state. So they give you particular prompts so that you can act out in the same way your mind is feeling in that particular time. Definitely you have to follow the guided instructions by therapist. The fourth step is processing. That is verbal integration. It is to reflect on and make sense of the movement experience, integrating your body awareness with the cognitive insight. Somehow it is making the integration of your body movement with your emotional state. So you can understanding that you are spinning because you are feeling like it is giving you a sense of freedom. It is making you feel like that you are becoming stress free by doing it. So there are some kind of cognitive insight in this particular step. Now we are talking about the benefits of DMT. These are the very common benefits which people face whenever they are following the DMT therapy module. These are the particular DMT benefits which has been found in multiple researches. The very first one is physical tension relief. What happens if you are too much stressed or anxious? You feel like shaking. Emotional expression. Sometimes some feelings are suppressed, but definitely any kind of suppression is having its own internal cost, whether it manifests in the type of physical illness or it can manifest into kind of mental illness. So this dance movement therapy provides a channel to vent out these kind of suppressed emotions. Neurochemical regulation. It also controls the circulation of those neurotransmitters which are responsible for anxiety, low mood, depression. It also promotes the neurotransmitter release of dopamine, serotonin and endorphins. So kind of homeostasis maintained in your brain as well. Present moment focus. Yes, it's also a very important factor that whenever you are doing DMT exercises, you are focused on the present moment rather than thinking about what is happening in your mind. So, by doing this, you are also being mindful about your bodily sensations and about your emotions and how your body is reacting to it. Mood enhancement. It has been seen that usually after the regular DMT sessions, people see that they have enhanced mood and they are able to have more joy and sense of happiness, achievement and self-control in their life. Creative vent. Yes, it's a ventilation. But when you speak in front of therapist, when you talk in front of your friend, you are ventilating. But it's a creative backdoor by which when you are ventilating, you are putting a creative backdoor to your things. The second very important movement therapy type is yoga therapy. We have heard yoga everywhere nowadays, and because we all know that yoga is having very much calming, relaxing and very good impact on our immunity system as well. So in yoga therapy what happens? We involve the use of yoga postures, breath regulation and mindfulness. Yoga stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system which promotes relaxation and recovery, counteracting the stress activated sympathetic nervous system. Right? There are multiple kind of yoga styles which we can use to take care of our particular therapeutic need like restorative yoga, trauma sensitive yoga and hut or somatic yoga. As you can see in the slide that they have their particular implications on particular kind of emotional or psychological illness. Now come to the walking meditation. Walking meditation is a practice in which you combine activity walking with mindfulness. So, what happens? What mindfulness is? Mindfulness is a practice in which you present in the present moment to involve all five sensory modality into that particular experience. By doing that, any experience can be mindful. What happens? Over evolution, we usually learned how to do two things at the same time. By doing this thing, we go to the automated mode. We are listening to someone, but we are not paying attention to it. We are just listening to it. But our mind is somewhere else. What happens? By doing this, we see that general quality of our communication pattern, our attention, our concentration is not as good as we want. Right? So, what happens when we try to be mindful? What we do, we involve five sensory modalities and our mind to that particular work which we are doing. So, in mindful meditation, what happens? We do the meditation and it's a practice of doing particular kind of breathing exercises while you are walking. The instructions here are walk slowly, notice each step's sensation, which again shows mindfulness. Coordinate your breath with steps. When distracted, please gently come back to the walking and make yourself more aware about what is happening to your body and what you are feeling while you are seeing the things around you. Now comes the expressive dance for stress release. So basically, we have talked about DMT and now we are discussing about expressive dance form. It's a free form dance which is non choreographed. It is in contrast to DMT where the therapist is giving you guided instructions and there are particular steps. But in this kind of expressive dance, there is no restriction, right? You can dance to express yourself. The focus is not on how you are looking, how well you are dancing, but the focus is on how and what kind of steps are making you feel more aligned with your emotional state. So, I am again telling you about the expressive dances. It is non-choreographed movement practice that allows individual to move in ways that reflect their emotional state, bodily sensations and inner experiences. This kind of dance is often intuitive. It is just impromptu because you are not training yourself for it, you are not giving any mental instructions for it. How you are feeling, whatever you are feeling, you are just expressing in bodily form. It's a very powerful outlet for very intense emotions because it has been seen that sometimes very intense emotions or traumas, they are not coming into surface despite person trying to verbalize it. So this kind of free form dancing form helps in the outlet of these conflict and emotions. I am giving you the instructions for this thing. First, you have to find a private and safe place where you can dance without any interruption. There should be no someone with whom you are feeling like humiliated or you are seeing someone is watching you. So there should be a safe place where you are alone and you are comfortable with your dance movements. The second step is choosing or selecting a music. You have to be very careful about what kind of music you are selecting because as I have told you, different kind of music is having particular kind of impact on your mind, on your emotions and on your feelings. So you have to be very selective about which kind of music you are choosing. If you are feeling low, you can choose upbeat music because it can uplift your mood. Also, it has been seen that if you are feeling very high, we are feeling multiple chaotic things are going on in your mind, then for emotional softness, you choose classical music, ragas, or you can just listen to the instrumental music, instrumental piano, or very natural calming instrumental musics. They can also have a calming impact on you. So, you have to choose wisely the music which you are using. The third step is allow the body to move freely. You start with just standing still and gradually you start moving as the rhythm is flowing. You have to be very gentle and genuine while you are doing it. You don't have to pressure yourself for just jumping into steps. No. You can start with simple swing and later on you go with the rhythm. So it's a very gentle, starting with a very basic step and then gradually in tuning with your emotional state. The fourth is focus on emotional awareness. While you are doing the third step, gradually you can shift your focus to your internal state. While I am dancing, how I am feeling, what are my experiences, whether I am feeling sad, whether I am feeling liberated, whether I am feeling low, any kind of insight which is coming, you have to focus on that as well in the continuation of your dance movements. This is a summary table where I have mentioned the benefits of expressive dance for stress relief. As you can see, emotional, chemical, physical, mental and spiritual benefits are there. By doing this dancing form, you can see that multiple suppressed feelings get released. There are multiple dopamine, there are multiple kind of neurotransmitters which are helpful for your emotion regulation. They also secretes. Physical, you see that your body is becoming more flexible, your tightened muscles get relaxed. This is also one of the benefit. Mental and spiritual benefits are that you are more aware about your mental state, and also you get the meaning in life, you get the inner peace, and you know that you can reflect and express yourself without any fear and without any kind of moderation or help. I'll again tell you, there's these kind of therapeutic modalities are never alternative of professional help. They are usually in adjacent of medication and therapy, but it has been seen that they are quite helpful when they are using in adjacent with the regular therapeutic modules. Here I want to clarify one thing, that we have discussed two things, expressive dance and dance movement therapy. So these two are quite related, but they are not the same thing. In DMT, you need a proper supervision from therapist. It can't be done alone, and it also require proper licensing from the therapist. But in the expressive dance form, you don't need any aid. You just need a room, and you have to be music, and you have to be in sync with your emotional state. So this is the basic difference between DMT and expressive dance form. Now, in this section, we will discuss how we can incorporate these kind of movement based therapeutic modules in our daily life. As we all know that our life is quite stressful, sometimes we don't feel like going to professional. We don't know whether it is the right time to go and take the professional help or not. Sometimes we are too busy in our life that our life and daily routines are not permitting to take professional help, right? In those moments when you are feeling that your crisis is not very severe but it is low and moderate, then you can use these kind of movement based therapies. They are quite helpful, and it has been seen in studies that they promote mental well-being, and they also give you a sense of achievement and sense of calmness. How to practice? Now the question is, after a lot of lecturing and after lots of information, it is bombarding of information, you feel how to practice it. Now I'm telling you, you don't need a proper setup, proper gym, proper studio for this. It's very easy. You just incorporate few things in your daily living pattern, and then you see vast changes in your emotional and psychological state. So I'm giving you few examples which you can take up and then you can try in your daily life. Some accessible practices to consider is morning yoga or stretching, mindful walking, movement breaks during work, or dancing freely to music at home. So I'll come one by one to all of these topics. The first one is morning yoga or stretching. So it's a very small change which you can do, but it also have very strong and significant impact on your mental state. You wake up in the morning and then you see that the sun is rising, the birds are chirping, and you can see the calmness in the environment. You can do very simple morning exercises or Surya Namaskar that time. As I have mentioned here, it hardly takes 5 to 10 minutes to do these neck rolls and shoulder rolls. In neck roll, you have to roll head gently side to side to release sleep tension. Sometimes you do the neck rolls, sometimes you do it in the form of clockwise, or sometimes you just doing it side by side. In shoulder rolls, you do 10 forward and 10 backward. By doing this, your body feels relaxed and calms, and you are doing it just when you are coming out of your bed. It's a very healthy start of your day. Surya Namaskar, as we all know, it is having multiple kind of therapeutic impact on your body. So, Surya Namaskar is you have to do it once or twice in front of rising sun, or you can do it just in your room also in front of window where you can see the open nature. Mindful walking. As I told you earlier, that mindfulness can be incorporated in any kind of activity. It can be mindful walking, it can be mindful eating, or it can be mindful talking as well. When you incorporate any kind of physical activity along with mindfulness, it becomes a mindfulness based activity. Here I am talking about mindful walking. So while you are doing the mindful walking, what you have to do is you have to be vigilant about your surroundings, about the trees, about the greenery, about the road, about the noises you are listening all around you. So it means you are mindful about the walking experiences, right? It hardly takes 5 to 10 minutes. You have to focus on the feeling of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your breath, and the movement of your arms. And if you are thinking that your attention is getting focused on something else, you gently put it back to the walking exercise. Movement breaks during work. Sometimes we don't know that we are sitting for too long because our daily life is becoming too much sedentary, that usually we stay in front of phones, in front of laptops, computers, on our chair. So just daily stretching exercises are quite helpful, because when you do it, you promote a circle of alertness, activeness, and secretion of few positive kind of neurotransmitters. As I am mentioning here, just minute reset once every hour is good. You can take 2 to 3 minutes of rest, chair twist while sitting, twist gently to each side with breath, standing reach, stand up, stretch arms overhead, side to side, hip circles or marching in place. Wake up your legs and spine, shaking it out. Shake arms, shoulders, legs like you are flinging off stress. So these are very simple movements which you can do in your office, in your classroom, at your home. But by doing this, you feel that there is a difference in your mental state and you feel more alert physically as well. Dancing freely at home. Like we have already discussed in expressive form of dance, you can just choose a dance as per your mood. You set the tune, you set the music, and you start free form dancing. What happens? This sometimes help you in just reducing all the stress and tension you are having, right? It is a spontaneous dance which releases endorphins, supports emotional release, and re-energize the body, especially when you are in stress, frustration, or you are feeling bored. These are the some mindful movement techniques which you can do along with the combination of the things which I have mentioned earlier. It can be walking meditation, body scan during stretching. So while you are doing the stretching, you can also do the body scan. Notice sensations in muscle while gently stretching, breathe synchronized movement, and also you do some kind of physical relaxation kind of exercises. So the conclusion is movement based therapies are actually a bridge between physical activity and your emotional healing. So what happens? We take advantage of movements and their related impact on mind, and then by guided movements we do the emotional and psychological healing. So there are multiple forms which I have already discussed, and I hope you will be benefited by this thing. Now I am coming to the references. Please go to the reference books and read them completely. Thank you.